Welcome to the Listen to Your Heart podcast. My name is Laura Ratliff, former actress turned global entrepreneur, teaching people around the world to use your thoughts, emotion, and an action plan so that you too can reach your wonderful dream life you know you deserve. On this week's episode, we have an amazing, talented lady called Tricia Grant. Now, Tricia has had a wonderful journey working in multiple companies around the world to now finding her true core purpose. And guess what? It's all about being of service to others. I'll see you on the show.
Totally. Okay, so cool. So we grew up in the restaurant industry, myself and my sister. It's funny, my sister's extremely successful. She's gorgeous and she is so powerful in her own industry, but she has worked the same job since she was very young. Myself, I've never been like that. I've worked in all different capacities of the restaurant environment. So I had a lot of success, actually. I worked in Michelin restaurants, so I was able to learn about humility and also really, really detailed, driven, pinpointed service, which is extremely important in anything really, right? You get that eye for detail. And also it's a huge challenge to work in those environments. That was really my career for a long time. As I grew into general management positions and area management positions, I really loved the idea of looking at a profit and loss statement and really helping from a business perspective. Like, why do businesses be successful rather. And so through that experience, I learned that really the shell of any business is pretty much the same. You can, if you're not getting enough sales, you need to feed your marketing portion. If you're getting overwhelmed in sales, you can pull back a little bit on your marketing portion. What areas in a profit and loss statement need to be driven in order for you to get maximum bottom line, right? And whatever that looks like. So, I then started to go into more accounts and worked in the building industry and for my husband's business, which was also in construction. So I ended up taking a course in my Cert 4 for bookkeeping. And from that stage, I just kind of wanted to have that done so that I could have the validity of being, taken seriously, I guess, even though I've been doing it my whole life.
Walk us through what you're doing at the moment with EQ and some other bits and bobs that you're doing.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So essentially, when we first met, I was working in MLM and just kind of going that route and just feeling a bit confused and sort of lost about where I was headed and what my life worth was. I think a lot of us go through that, especially when you reach a certain age and you sort of feel like society says that you need to be a certain place. And, I was doing a lot of swapping around and switching careers. And then I hired my life coach, who's a huge part of my transition, I guess. And she really helped me to see what I was good at and that my switching and swapping was actually a real skill. And there's jobs out there that can adhere to that. And so I knew essentially 3 things. 1, I wanted to help people. 2, I wanted to speak or guide people, whether that's through motivational speaking or coaching. And lastly, I needed something that would fulfill my need to have ever change, which is me being able to move around from company to company. So through those realizations and the confidence in knowing that what I was doing was actually legitimate and I'm building all these great skills around building and selling business, Oshtanik came into my life and we decided she's actually the lead expert of EQ in Australia. And I'm sort of mentored by her in the EQ capacity, but furthermore, we're developing, we've actually developed and we're about to launch our program Equation, which is a corporate package that gets implemented over the course of a year, where we teach corporates about emotional intelligence. Yeah, it's amazing.
That was going to be my next question, Tricia. What is EQ? Just walk us through a little bit of what EQ stands for.
Sure. So currently for me, my role within the company right now is really getting that strategy down around the sales and the development of the program. So it's really actually exciting for me as well, Laura, because I'm learning EQ. I'm in university right now at the Institute of Social and Emotional Intelligence. So whilst learning about EQ and how we can implement it into corporates and medical fields and schools, I'm having the, I guess, luxury, and also I'm super grateful to be coached and mentored by the expert. EQ is really being aware of your emotions in the moment. So there's 4 essential pillars of EQ, and we work with 26 different modules around that, honing in on different areas that people might need improvement on. Some areas include stress management, behavior, the way you behave, the way you react. Obviously, there's discussion around empathy. And essentially what it is just being aware. It's not your emotions per se. It's just being aware of what your emotion is and reacting in a way that's going to be most suitable for the situation. It's amazing. It's really powerful because you actually, through this, again, there's a lot of peeling back of your own layers of how you react and what triggers you, right? Because we all have triggers. We all have things that make us upset, and you might even not even know what it is. And so what we use exercises and in interactive programming to really get people to start thinking around that and why they are reacting the way they do. And that's what EQ is. It's really all about just knowing your emotion in the moment and responding in a way that's suitable. So
that's fantastic, because
yeah.
In sales especially, you've got a goal in vision, and you're speaking to someone else, and being aware of the emotional intelligence, correct me if I'm wrong, could it help you observe the other person's behavior and kind of know a bit more thought process of where they are in the sales pipeline, if that makes sense? Would it help in a sales mentality way, EQ, being more aware of our emotional intelligence?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's so useful in any capacity, but if we are talking about sales, absolutely, because I think you as well from your career know really what sales is, right? It's really about trust, in camaraderie, and how do you actually not necessarily sell, but understand what that person needs and then go at it from that angle. So if you're actively listening to them, you're understanding, and they have that trust in you because you are an empathetic person, then you're certainly going to have more success around sales. And for myself and Usha, transparency and being genuine is first and foremost. So being able to do that around something that we know is so beneficial for the entire world and is going to make better leaders for the future of our planet, for me, it's a no-brainer. So it sells itself. Who doesn't want to be amazing? It's I say it quite a bit, but yes, it's great for corporates, but it's better for life. So yes, you're a great leader in your work environment, but you're just a great human if you're high in IQ. So it translates better to a family dynamic, who you are when you talk to the person at your local shop or your restaurant server. So things like that. So it just makes me excited knowing that we have the capabilities and tools to help people really understand that.
That's fantastic. So tell me, I'm dying to know, your personal development book, what is your favorite one out there? Or one that really hit the light bulbs when you read it?
Yeah. There's actually a couple. So look, I have a real thing about being genuine. So if I'm honest with you, self-development for me is great. But I actually have really come into the idea of more of feedback. So I listen to a lot more of people on YouTube, et cetera, talking in and around feedback. But that said, I love the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I do love it. I think it's great. It's a bit real. And I also love Think and Grow Rich, which is another Napoleon Hill. It's a classic. It's pretty much the foundation for self-development. So those are probably 2 of my favorites. I've read a lot. But yeah, that's kind of my view about self-development. I think you can read them until you're blue in the face, but if you're not really living them and not understanding it from a mindset perspective and getting the help around you, and getting that human connection, then I don't think you should even bother reading them. That's how I feel. I'd rather have a conversation with you and 5 other mentors than read a book about self-development. That's my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. If you're reading a book and you applying it, you're wasting your time. But if you're talking to people who've walked the walk and they're talking the talk, then you can kind of, I think, embody it a little bit easier, and it becomes part of your belief system as well.
100%.
Yeah, for those of, I'm sure that there are listeners who haven't dived into the personal development realm. Why would you do it, Tricia? Like, do you have any sort of tips and tricks or insights to personal development? We all know that, having a mind-body connection is a great thing, but why? Kind of thing,
My God, that's a great question, actually. You know what, if I hadn't started peeling back the layers, it really started for me in January of last year. So January 2018, I got physically ill, and like, I'm a really healthy eater. I was at that stage taking turmeric and apple cider vinegar every morning. So I said to myself, how am I this sick? It was my intestines. I was, full disclosure, just backed up, not feeling good. I had to get a colonoscopy. I ended up having polyps, which they had to test for cancer. It was really confronting, especially if you're putting good things into your body. Therefore, I knew straight away it had to be something mental. And for me, I just said, F it. And I just went really deep into helping myself. And, I know people say it so often, like, you can't help anyone else if you don't help yourself first. It's so true. It just makes me realize how much I don't know and how much I want to know. So now I'm at a point where I surround myself with mentors, coaches, people vibrating on this higher plane. And through that, you kind of have to let certain people and things that you were used to for so long, let them go. It's not the easy road, but it's definitely the best road. And I recommend it for everyone. And just a quick tip. For me, I found it really useful in my car to listen to either books on audio, but again, not really books, more like 20-minute TED Talks, inspirational things on YouTube, anything that was like a 20-minute jolt. And then I just listened to that and pump me up, get me motivated. And I did it like every day for months and months and months. And that's when your mind actually starts to switch, because you're making it part of your life, right? So yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And then you got to go to the gym.
You got to be physical too, right?
That's it.
All your mind can do in life, your belief systems are such a powerful thing, and I think a lot of us overrule it or aren't aware of it. So Trish, it's been an amazing journey you've taken us on today. Thank you so much for your time. Is there a way how we can get in contact with you?
Yes, I do. So I'm actually just launching my new website. So whilst I'm running and working in the strategy of emotional and EQ equation, I also do private coaching for people who are ready to take the next step, whether they have an idea or a strategy that they want to implement. I pretty much work alongside you as your business cheerleader. It's a no frills sort of program. We get stuff done, and we set out to do that whilst also working on your mind. I can be reached at Tricia Grant, TriciaGrant.com, starting July 1st.
Now, Tricia, a really quick one. Where do you want to be in the next 4 years or 5 years?
Ooh, that is a good question. I will want to be wherever my feet are. We are such a transient family. I'm very lucky to have an amazingly supportive husband and my son. So we are not the type to be tied down. I think you know that about me. I like to move and shake it up. Yeah. But from a perspective of my business, I want Equation to be in at least 100 businesses. And further that, I want to really take a personal step for me, which is sustainability. I need to start working on that. How are we going to make these leaders make better, sustainable decisions for the future? Like, our planet needs it. Mm-hmm. And I also want to own a couple dance studios for underprivileged children in Bali and Cambodia.
Oh, so, I love that. We should explore. That's fantastic. Amazing.
We should talk about that.
Oh my God. blow me away. Like, seriously, guys, for the listeners, Trish, she has an idea and she just goes full steam ahead and she achieves it. And, you know, she'll learn her lessons along the way, but she doesn't stop until she gets it. So seeing you move from Australia to Bali and just conquer a new business called EQ is an amazing journey. And thank you guys for listening. I'll see you on the next show. Hey, you're still here. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see another video like this, hit the subscription button below and comment. I'll see you on the next video.